really had high expectations for the inclusion of Thobile Mselego onto the Real Housewives of Durban Season 2 cast, but we are halfway through-ish with the season, and Thobile is just not giving what I thought she would give.
But it did not give what needed to be gave.
She didn't feature on the first episode of the season and only made her debut on episode 2. And on both that and the third episode, the audience found Thobile's scenes superbly underwhelming. And that black tie dinner, which should have been her grand entrance, was kind of a flop, as the ladies did not take well to the dinner table conversation, as well as the issue of the language barrier for some of them, and the audience was put off by the subject of polygamy during the scene. Yet, despite all of this, I still thought that Thobile could still bring it this season and become more interesting. But following this past episode, I'm beginning to think that Uma Khumalo might not have much to offer as a Durban housewife. Let me clear my throat so you can hear me out. A majority of her content so far still revolves in some way or another around polygamy. Whether it's her husband encouraging it at the dinner or her discussing being a wife in polygamy with Nonku, it's as if polygamy is the only dish Thobile can serve. Yet all along, most of us thought that she came onto the Real Housewives of Durban to show us that she has more to offer than that. We finally saw her individually with the other housewives at Sorisha's Halloween party, unaccompanied by her husband. And Khumalo just did not mesh with the ladies. She seemed socially awkward around the other ladies in that setting. She looked like she was so uncomfortable and out of place, and she did not even dress accordingly to the theme, which a quick Google search could have prevented. Just saying. Then, she left the party before it really even began because she was feeling cold. Huh? Okay. In her confessional, she attributed the awkwardness to the fact that the other housewives already knew each other and the affairs in each other's lives, so they have things to chatter about amongst each other. But because she's still new, there's nothing that they can really discuss with her. But if there is anyone in that troupe who should have mastered the art of intermingling and making her presence felt within a group of women, it should be Thobile, whose life consists of sharing a husband with 3 sister wives and an undetermined number of concubines, being a radio personality, and having public engagement. As such, one could justifiably assume that she is skilled at handling different personalities, carrying conversations, and socializing with strangers. So ma'am, that was a flimsy excuse and I am not sold. On the other hand, Nonku, in her confessional, suggested that the other ladies did not take a liking to Thobile because her polygamous marriage is a threat to them. And I agree and disagree with Nonku. I agree that the polygamy thing is a factor to the cold reception which Thobile got from the other ladies, but I wholly disagree that that is because her polygamy is a threat to them. What I think the ladies' beef actually is the fact that they probably felt as though Thobile and Mselego disrespected their monogamous marriages during the black tie dinner by forcing the polygamy discussion down their throats and insinuating that their husbands will inevitably be polygamous or unfaithful. Consequently, Thobile made a bad first impression on the other wives, and first impressions count. However, as a means of damage control and relationship management, Khumalo should have used this Halloween party as an opportunity to reintroduce herself and change the impression the ladies had of her into a more positive one by dressing up, drinking up, and showing up as fun, hip, and bubbly, which is what made her popular on Uthando Nesthembu in the first place. My analysis of Khumalo's lackluster presence on the show right now is that it is the result of inadequate planning, lack of intentionality, and poor vision of an end goal. At the moment, I'm struggling to see what story Makhumalo is trying to tell the audience. I'm not seeing how she is accomplishing a rebranding and revision of the image that many have of her as just being the pampered wife of a rich polygamist. She is not leveraging the show to promote a new product or showing the wives and audience a cause or campaign she's passionate about. Just anything that presents to us a different side of Thobile that we would not have seen on Uthando Nesithembu. The show is called Real Housewives of Durban. Therefore, having a rich, famous, or influential husband or ex will get you onto the show, but it will not keep you on the show. Last season, the cast members showed us exactly how it's done, with Latongo using the show to promote her skincare product and show us her zeal for celebrating and preserving isiZulu culture. Annie plugged her salon by hosting the ladies there for a pajama party, and this season she has shot a lot of scenes at her and her husband's various restaurants and clubs. In season 1, Nonku weaved her wine launch onto the show and even took the ladies on that fabulous holiday to Cape Town to visit her winery. And as discussed in a previous video, Londi is incorporating her sunglasses into scenes and including her son and marriage preparation into her storyline in order to detach herself from the IG model identity. One can even look to examples from Real Housewife franchises from around the world to see how the housewives use the airtime that they get on the show to grow their brands and or to create personas for themselves. And I have no problem with Thobile getting onto the show just to secure the bag and to build up her TV CV. But then she still needs to bring it. I get the sense that she thought she could take what works for her on Uthando Nesithembu and just do it on the Real Housewives of Durban. She can afford to be passive on Uthando Nesithembu because the nature of her kind of marriage inherently lends itself to the creation of drama. But this is a whole different crowd, and Thobile is going to have to be proactive in giving the audience something to talk about, something to come back for, and a reason to skip to her scenes. Yes, this is reality television, but we tune in for more television than reality. Nevertheless, I still think there are enough acts in this play for a climatic conclusion in Thobile's storyline, especially with this yet to be explained hostility between herself and Latongo. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Thobile on the Real Housewives of Durban at the moment. Has she transitioned smoothly from Mzumbe to Durban? Leave a like and a comment and share this video with your friend, and then come back as I give you more commentary on the Real Housewives of Durban Season 2. My name is Awande Zwane. This is If I Start to Talk, and I will see you on the next video. Be blessed.